Sup guys, it's your boy Justin here with another Martial Arts Madness Month review. Somebody asked us to review a Steven Seagal film, and I did my best to try to find Steven Seagal films that had martial arts like scenes in them. Only not to find any Steven Seagal martial arts films. So I was like, screw it. I'll pick 3 random ones on Tubi and ask you guys to vote, right? I made you guys choose. Oh, and we ended up with the Patriot, 1998. Not the Mel Gibson Kino Patriot film, which is one of my favorite Mel Gibson movies of all time. Great film, The Patriot. Yeah, so this movie stars Steven Seagal. I think Anthony Edwards is in it, but they don't credit him on Tubi or in the leading credits, so it could have been somebody else. Which, if people don't know who Anthony Edwards is, he was Goose from Top Gun. And the film is directed by Dean Semler. Never heard of this guy. So this movie is based off a book called The Last Canadian. Ooh, I think it's supposed to be Steven Seagal's character, which Steven Seagal plays a doctor who used to be an immune biologist. Who quit the CDC or whatever because he found out his research that he thought he was making, making stuff to protect the America from foreign bioweapons, only for him to find out, hey, the government is making bioweapons based off his research. So he quits, and he's now a doctor. In Montana. He has his own horse ranch, right? Which there's a scene where him and his farmhand Frank, who's like I think it's supposed to be a Vietnam vet, wrangle up a bull, and he inoculates the bull, right? And it tells him, "Hey, go on, girl." So it's like, it was clearly a bull, not a cow, or whatever. And he also has a daughter, right? Who is supposed to be, I think, is supposed to be half Native American, right? Which ties into the other stuff in the movie, right? Because, like, for some reason, like a lot of, Steven Seagal films has like Native American stuff in it. Apparently, I don't know if he's Native American. I always thought he was Italian American, especially now since he looks like Bobby, Tony Soprano's brother-in-law. So it's like, look up Bobby Bacula from The Sopranos. He totally looks like Steven Seagal now, especially when like he beat the shit out of Tony Soprano in the final season, right? Oh my god! So yeah, the movie is about, which I knew I've heard of this film from like at the start of the from 3 years ago when the what happened, and people were comparing this film to what happened, right? Because the movie is about right-wing militia group leader getting arrested by the FBI and purposely infecting himself with a stolen bioweapon that belonged to the Americans, right? And infects the whole town of Montana, which you never find out why this militia group guy is doing this, right? And yeah, you never find out why. In fact, it was pretty obvious that he was baiting the government to arrest him, since he sent the judge a tape of him sawing off a barrel of a shotgun, saying it's bullshit. The government can tell me what I can or cannot do on my land. And it's like, the movie is very political, right? Which the movie, I guess, tries to play the centrist point, but not really. The movie's straight up propaganda, right? Yeah, because apparently a lot of this shit was there was a lot of fear of militia groups back in the 90s. Like apparently, there's a movie with Jeff Bridges called Arlington Road, which is about that. Which I guess Jeff Bridges is a bad guy in that movie. So yeah, it's the movie. What happens in the movie is that he causes a viral outbreak in Montana, and it's up to Steven Seagal, the immune biologist, to find a cure and to defeat the bad guy, right? Which he kills the bad guy with a broken wine glass at the end of the movie. When at that point, the bad guy was just like, just wanted to Steven Seagal's help to cure everybody, right? Well, mostly he just wanted to cure for himself, right? Because he did infect people. It's the thing where it's like he I guess did not know that the government's cure for the bioweapon, which the government knew it was the bioweapon that did it, right? So apparently he was the first to find him and his henchman. Goose, I think it's Goose, I'm not 100% sure, are the first to find out, oh yeah, this shit does not work. So, the dude gets broken out of prison, and they take over the town, right? And they're after Steven Seagal's character's daughter because she's immune, right? Even though apparently it takes years, if not decades, to make a cure based off somebody immune person's blood, according to the film Contagion, right? I don't know how true that is, even though that happens in a lot of movies, right? So yeah, Steven Seagal, that's when there's a lot. It's only at that point where the militia group is after them that, oh yeah, there's a bunch of action scenes, which there are not a lot of action scenes in the movie. Though the ones there were I guess impressive, but it's hard to tell if they were impressive, because it's it's the thing where they looked okay, but it's the thing where it's like, oh yeah, there weren't a lot of action scenes at that point in the movie, so it's like, oh yeah, there's finally action scenes. So I guess I'm impressed by that. Though I will say the scene where the Frank throws dynamite under a militia group, one of the militia group's trucks, and it flips forward, and the guy who was in the truck bed falls ahead of the truck, only for the truck to land on him. So it's like, oh yeah, that was impressive. That totally did look like they crushed that dude. And there is actual blood, they use practical effects for the blood shots and stuff, right? Which there is there is some hand-to-hand stuff in the movie, but not I think maybe two scenes where Steven Seagal does some Aikido or whatever, which he is a black belt, right? And he actually taught Aikido back in Japan, right? He had his own dojo, which he was married to a Japanese woman, and apparently Steven Seagal's daughter is in the movie as his assistant, right? Though she's only in one scene in the movie, and I think she was the only person of color in the movie. So not a lot of diversity, unless you count Steven Seagal too. Oh yeah, and the Native Americans, right? Yeah. There are Native Americans in the movie. Yeah. So not a lot of diversity in this Hollywood film, right? Especially when you think about the subject matter, right? Oh, so yeah, So I don't know about this film, honestly. I was able to watch this movie and watch pretty much the whole thing in a single sitting. Usually if a movie sucks, I'll take breaks. I pretty much watched the movie from start to finish, right? yeah, so that I have to give the movie some credit. It's not totally you know, totally terrible, but it's the thing where something makes me think, since the movie is called the movie is based off a book called The Last Canadian, right? That they probably shoehorn in like the action, like the martial arts scenes and shit. Which, yeah, the action scenes, right? Yeah. Which, yeah, it's the thing where, yeah, it totally didn't make the final the climax of the movie does not make a lot of sense, other than the fact that, oh yeah, this movie is supposed to be an action movie, so yeah, let's have Steven Seagal kill everybody, even though it's like, yeah. I'm not saying they didn't deserve it, but I'm just saying, like, you know, at that point, like, you know, well, there was like no reason to. But whatever, right? Yeah, and it's like that's my major problem with the movie. They don't really, like, the dude infects himself with this killer virus thing, and apparently he didn't he didn't want to die. So it's like, what the fuck was your game plan then? Like, why did you even start the outbreak? They never say, right? Other than that, he hates the government, right? Oh, the U.S. government, because, you know, they don't go into details. They don't go into details of why he hates the American government, other than like all the shit the alphabet communities do, right? Yeah. Yeah, and it's the thing where he even says, like, you know, you and me, like, we have a lot in common. Because he hates the government too, because like his whole reason why he became like a small town doctor was because, like, you know, he didn't like the fact that the U.S. government was taking his research and making what was the fucking virus from fucking the Stand? Not Colonel Sneeze. I don't know, something stupid. Colonel Trips, Sergeant Trips. It was something Trips, right? I don't remember. But yeah, the movie, I would say it's watchable. That it's one of those movies that you would just watch with your dad, right, on TV. If you ever, I don't know. I used to watch like crappy action movies with my dad, right? So it's like, it's one of those movies, right? It's a harmless action movie. Yeah. There's no. That's pretty much. I pretty much, like, you know, have nothing like too bad to say about this film, other than yeah, it was straight. Like I said, I think I said this earlier, or did I say my first take? Yeah, this movie's propaganda. Right? But yeah, other than that, yeah, it was like it was a harmless fucking film, right? The make it or break it scene and the, like, thing about this movie is the Steven Seagal. You're supposed to buy that Steven Seagal is like immune biologist. Like, it's supposed to be like a super smart, like, scientist. And then there's the how they fucking found the cure for the fucking virus in the first place, man. That was like that made me fucking laugh, because it's like you even had like the government, like, you know, fucking dropping the cure from fucking helicopters and telling, yeah, go brew it in a tea or something. It was flowers, but I'm not gonna say how they figured it out. Yeah, it was some hippie bullshit. Yeah, so yeah, 5 out of 10. Okay, movie. So the next movie we're going to review is either going to be the Donnie Yen film, Killzone, or Detective Dee and the Mystery of the Phantom Flame, which I bought those fucking movies. I bought a trilogy, the Detective Dee trilogy on DVD, and my copy my copy for the first, I tried to watch the first film and it was scratched near the end, so I couldn't fucking watch the ending of that film. So thank God it's on Tubi now, so I can watch it for free. Fucking bullshit. Yeah, that's it for this review, guys.